I appreciate you guys always having me on. Serious, like you guys, even when before the Topps Chrome stuff, you had me on, and I really appreciate it when the cards account was much smaller and all that. So,
bro, I'll let Andrew intro, but I mean, dude, everything is good about the hobby, right? I mean, I see you collecting with your dad, looking for Joe Jackson at the National.
I got it. I got one.
Yeah, and you extrapolate that against now you got the young up and coming basketball players. It's prospecting the NBA. I mean, like it's everything that that's good about the hobby.
Hello, Luca Nation. I love that intro. All right, episode 32 of the best sports card podcast in the world, and I have someone who's a friend, who's someone I respect and admire. Someone we've had on the show before, and I hope you guys stay tuned for this episode because it's going to be filled with a lot of insight, hopefully some card kind of, plays, picks, ideas, but also we're going to be doing some giveaways.
Maybe. If Andrew comes back.
It's none other than Sam from Overtime. Welcome to the show, Sam.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
Is it frozen?
No, you're back now. You froze for a second. I got a joke in there. It was really good timing, actually. It was well done. You froze, then you came back. It's really good. Listen, I can just talk to Sam. It's okay. You seem to be back now. He's good. Listen, he's gonna disappear.
He's out.
He's gone. He disappeared. He left. The federales have stormed the compound. He is in Mexico for a little bit longer. He's there for a little bit longer. Well, Sam, listen, we're going to bring you on today. We're going to talk about the new release. But I have a question. When it's just me and you and no Andrew and just, the couple thousand people who are going to listen to this in the first 24 hours. Has Jalen Lewis lifted his restraining order against me yet? Because I don't know whether he knows it or not, but I have a man crush. I bought a few of his cards, man. Yeah. I think, listen, not only do I think the kid's talented, but it was really cool last year following his story. By the way, nice little SGC 10. I don't know if you ever seen any of your stuff graded, but there's a Jalen Lewis. I
haven't seen an SGC holder yet.
Pretty cool. I'll bring it. I'll bring it to Bleecker, and you check it out. But 16 years old, turned 16 years old, May of 21. He's still 16. That's an amazing thing that it's just a different part of the sport. A professional athlete signs a deal, 16 years old, has a card. I'm able to buy it and buy a lot of them. It's I love it. I love what you're doing with it. I love that, it brought Topps basketball back and now little Topps Chrome basketball back. People are excited. I have a quick story to tell you. I didn't get to tell you when we were at Mint Collective. Then I'll let Andrew do his spiel. I buy from a store out here in Long Island, and I've been buying from him for years, decades, as long as I've been out here. And he was maybe 2 weeks ago, he tells me what's coming in. Oh, Inception. Yeah. Oh, I get you this. Oh, sorry, I can't get you anything Prism unless it's draft. Then I can get you all you want. I want some Sage, I'll get it for you. But guess what? I can get you Topps Chrome basketball. Do you believe this? Topps Chrome basketball. He was so excited. And I'm like, Doc, are you talking about the overtime elite? He's like, yeah. And he's like, here's the sell sheet. That's got to be pretty cool, man. You're making basketball cards in the Topps Chrome label for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, it's crazy. The first Topps Chrome basketball card since 2009. And I have good news for you on Jalen Lewis, actually. He's going to USA. He got invited to USA basketball camp, so he's going to be representing the United States along with a couple other of our players. But yeah, it's honestly crazy. Like to grow up collecting cards, and then now I see our logo on the jerseys and on the front of a pack is like kind of surreal. But my main thing is I just want people to have fun opening it, and I think we've accomplished that because you open the box, you get a bunch of different colored cards, you get 2 autographs. It's cheap compared to other products, so I just want people to have fun with it and follow the players. And the way I've been explaining is it's like Bowman Chrome draft for basketball, right? The cards are when they're in the minor leagues, right? Mike Trout's 2009 card, that's a minor league card, but obviously it's the most valuable baseball card ever, probably I guess now behind the Wagner and the Mantle. But if and when these guys become big players in the NBA, I think that there's investment potential too, and it's just a fun rip. So, it's crazy. And the player, I'm here with the players today. They're excited to open the cards to see themselves on it. And it's just a fun vibe.
Who's the LeBron? I know these are all your kids, right? So you can't choose your favorites, but give us a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. Who is the Mike Trout? Who's the LeBron that if I'm ripping that I'm looking for? Who are the hits?
So I think in the short term, in the short term, Jean Montero is going to get drafted as a projected first round pick this year. He's a 6'2" point guard from Dominican Republic, like super smooth shot. And he's a projected first round pick. The other guy I keep an eye on for this season is we got this. Yep, and those are super limited, by the way. Those like rainbow foil cards.
Cage has some love for these Dominican players. Chris Duarte is another one, right, Cage?
Duarte, Duarte is also in the mix.
So Chris is in the NBA. Lewis has a card in the overtime league
Lewis
set.
Duarte is his cousin.
There you go. I got them all. Them all. They're ready to grade.
Those are rare. And then besides Jean, though, this year, there's a guy, Dom Barlow, who he came into our program not on draft boards. And I'm telling you, this guy is like grinding all day, every day. Like he's 6'10", good athlete. Wow. His shot has improved so much throughout the course of the year. Like he's become a good 3-point shooter. And now suddenly he's on NBA draft boards. He's a projected second-round pick now. But like just at this trajectory, like I don't even like he could keep going up. So yeah,
Dom Barlow
at him, like he just grinds. Like if there's a guy that can become like the next like Draymond Green or Carlos Boozer or something like that, like second round pick that really make an impact, I think it could be him. And look, these are all prospects, so you have no idea what's gonna happen, but like that's the fun part, right? Like that's what it is for baseball. So I'm not sitting here saying like this guy's a lock to be an NBA star, but they have a chance. And then next year is probably the two ones that people are most excited about right now. It's the two Thompson twins. They're identical twin brothers.
If you're gonna make a prayer on one, you go with Amen Thompson.
You know what's crazy? The NBA scouts flip flop. Oh well, yes. Okay, yeah. I was slow on that one. But it's funny because the NBA scouts are flip flopping on which one they think is going to get drafted first. But they're both projected top 10. They're like 6'7", 6'8" point guards, insane court vision, insane bounce. And like, you know what's cool? I saw that very early on when someone ripped one of our boxes. That someone put up an Asar Thompson Topps Chrome Auto on eBay. It's at $70 with 5 days left. Like that feels pretty good to me. Like it feels like people see the potential here and like are excited about it. And obviously the card's great. And then past that, obviously Jalen Lewis, second ranked guy in his class, going to USA Basketball. So there's a lot of excitement around him too. But the cool thing is like all these guys have a chance, and every single card in these boxes is a rookie card. So every single card is worth saving because you just never know.
Love it.
This might be a stupid question, but Sam, with NIL, can these guys go play for you guys for a year and then go to college, or are they completely disqualified?
So right now they cannot play in college, but we want to make sure that the players can still go to college if they want. So every player has a college scholarship waiting for them if they want to go to college. So right now they cannot go and play college after playing for OTE, but they can go to college and get their education if that's a path that they want to choose.
I want to get into a little bit about kind of what you do day to day, but how did year one go, right? You guys just wrapped up the season. What was it, 3-4 weeks ago? Give people who out there who haven't watched season one or maybe just caught a few games in the highlights, where they could watch it and how kind of season one went.
For sure, yeah. So look, season one, it had its ups and downs, and like nothing. I think when you think really big, like nothing is going to go so smoothly, because if it goes too smoothly, that means it wasn't big enough of a challenge. Yep. And like, I'll be honest, we had our ups and downs. Like there were some weekend games that were packed, and then there'd be a game on a Tuesday night that was like, there was only a couple hundred people here. Right. And like, that was something that we tried to figure out throughout the season. Like, okay, what's the difference? What can we do to get people to come on a Tuesday night and not a Friday night? Things like that. Other challenges we had, and like me, like I'm a transparent guy. Like I'll tell you what's working, what's not working. Like for this season, the team names were all like very similar. It was like elite, overtime, and OTE. Next year that's going to change, which is going to be great. They're going to have like really individualized names. But this year we had like these kind of 3 similar team names. And I think sometimes people came in and like when we were playing against outside teams, I'm rooting for the overtime elite team. But when we had these internal games, sometimes people almost didn't know who to root for when it's an overtime team versus another overtime team. So I think that affected things because like you want people to have a rooting interest, right? Because that makes them scream louder and clap harder. So that was another challenge. But luckily, everything like finally clicked during the playoffs. And like during our playoffs, it was like first it was a playing game, and then there was a 3 games best of 3 finals. Like everything clicked, and every single game was over capacity. And a lot of it was like just letting AAU teams know, getting as many kids in as possible, like just like getting really like hitting the basketball community in Atlanta and being like, hey, we have this going on. Do you want to come? And then suddenly the tickets were going crazy. And then the cool thing is there'd be games where we were giving out these tickets for free. And then the game would be so good that as soon as the game would end, people are going on and buying tickets to the next game because they want to miss it. So that's what happened during the finals. So like the last games, we didn't even really need to do that much because people were just going on and organically buying the tickets. And we make the tickets very cheap. They're like $7 each. So we want everyone to be able to come. So overall, I think like ups and downs, but we're just like learning and we're absorbing everything, and we're going to keep improving on it next year. And like I think we just ended on such a high note that we're all so excited. Like there was crazy highlights in the finals. Like it went down to the last minute like multiple times, and like the underdog team won. Like honestly, everything just fell perfectly for us, and it brought the fans out and it brought Atlanta out. 2 Chainz pulling up, the mayor of Atlanta pulling up. So everything kind of just like culminated nicely at the end. And look, we still have a lot of work to do, but I think overall we are excited for the direction we're going, and we're just gonna improve the things that need improving and go from there.
Listen, if any of the guys are in the Atlanta area, you know, at some point Andrew may need a couple of them to come play with him at the next tournament. We may need to bring some
Culture Collision Cage. You mean my team of 2 players isn't good enough for a 3-on-3 tournament? Maybe that's on me. Maybe that's on the organizer. I don't know.
Were you there?
I was there.
I didn't see you. I was there also.
Well, that's because his game was so muted. You didn't know he was there.
Oh man,
my team was so stacked that we only got 2 guys for a 3-on-3 tournament. But it's okay. We found someone from the crowd.
You should have gotten me. We would have won easily.
See?
I would agree with that. Next year, I'll take the leadership position in that. That was on me. I mean,
yeah, or maybe we get a couple players involved. Although that really won't be fair.
There you go, Andrew.
But no, I'm talking with Roth from Culture Collision. Like, there's got to be some way that we can work together since we're both based in Atlanta. So we're working on that. He came to a couple games, had a great time, and he's all in on it too. So I'm just trying to bring in as many people that are interested as possible, especially him, like based in Atlanta, wants to get back to the community. So we're working on stuff for Culture Collision too.
How's your life been? Like you moved to New York. You lived in New York, but you moved to Atlanta, right?
No. I just travel to Atlanta a lot.
You enjoy that?
In Atlanta. Yeah. I've been traveling a lot the last few weeks because we had playoffs, and then I was in Vegas for Mint Collective, but now it's kind of slowing down. I'm actually here to do some card stuff today, but my travel's gonna be slowing down a little bit. But like it's fun. Like I'm doing sports, and I'm working with sports cards and doing podcasts with you guys, like to promote it. Like I can't complain. I haven't slept much the last week, but like it's fun. Like what am I gonna say?
So we're releasing this Wednesday, March 30th. Guys, if you're in the New York City area, March 31st, you're going to be at Bleecker, right? For kind of like Topps Chrome, OTE. You're going to be opening packs. It's like a Bleecker trade night. So you guys listening to this show either Wednesday night or Thursday morning during the day, if you're in the New York City or tri-state area, Bleecker for trade night tomorrow.
Yeah, Bleecker trade night. Launch party tomorrow. I'm bringing boxes. I'm bringing overtime apparel. There's gonna be food, drinks. Like main thing, I think one of the biggest issues I've had, and the thing I was trying to tackle at Mint Collective is explaining what OTE is. I think a lot of people, they say it's high school cards. I say it's not high school cards. They're high school age, but they're professional athletes. These are the best players in the world for their age. So I'm probably just trying to like bridge that gap, like the knowledge gap there. And yeah, hopefully, like doing this Bleecker trading event, I could really be like people can really understand what it is and what the product is and what they're investing in. And look, I just want to be clear. I'm not saying these guys are all going to be NBA stars or any of them will be, but like it's the same for every Bowman Chrome draft that you buy, right? Like, it's fun, it's prospecting, and like you root for the guys that you have that are good cards. And like obviously, I'm rooting hard for all of them. I want them all to make the NBA. That's not going to happen.
I mean, Sam, you're underselling it, right? I mean, there never was a way to prospect in basketball before. You know what I mean? Baseball had prospecting because of the Bowman brand. And your comparison is 100% right that it's sort of like Bowman Chrome prospects, first Bowman Chrome for these players. It really is.
Yeah.
And because basketball, they're in college. Some of them go for a year, some of them don't, and they're in the NBA. And you got a rookie card, and you're done. It's a smaller league. There's 5 guys per team. Baseball, you got a huge roster, 45 guys, plus all the minor leagues, the different levels. They play AAA, AA, single. Low A. They got all kinds of stuff. So the rosters have so many more people, and there's prospecting. And I think, look at the changing times, right? With the NIL that Andrew mentioned, and being paid to do this, and professional athletes being able to sign deals, and it's a change. And you're right; it's probably going to take a little bit of getting used to because people just aren't. It's something new. But to me, it makes total sense. And I have a stack of these guys.
You're as old as us. You remember Kevin Garnett, Tracy McGrady, Kobe, right? They all went high school to pro. Then the NBA instituted the
Moses Malone.
Right. They were like, you have to go to college.
And something else I always say, look at the NBA first team from last year. Luka, Giannis, Jokic. How many of those guys went to college?
Yep.
Right? So like the guys in Europe are professionals when they're 14, 15 years old. And like our guys are not making – this is going back to the heart of why we started the league. But like why are these U.S. athletes, not making $1 until they're not 20? And meanwhile, Luka's a pro in Europe making good money at 15, getting really good basketball training, right? Like he's getting better basketball training at Real Madrid than these guys are at some high school, aside from maybe a few. So,
another good example, right? LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo,
right?
Exactly.
Perfect example, right? It's a different path.
Yeah, and it's worked out, and it's worked out for guys recently. And like, I do think our program puts the guys in a good position to succeed. It doesn't mean they're all going to succeed, but if it's meant to be, like, this is going to help you maximize your potential.
Well, a lot of people don't realize this. Actually, they think going to college is the best kind of stepping stone for pros, but they don't actually realize the college rules, right? So, for example, in the off season, athletes have like a certain amount of time that they could train, which is kind of makes no sense, right? If you want to groom the best athletes in the world, why would you limit them on like time with the ball, time without the ball? And now people who listen to our show who played college sports know that this is true. Like playing college soccer, January to March, Cage, we couldn't play with the ball more than 8 hours a week, even though I went to college for soccer. So how am I supposed to become the best soccer player I can be if I can only play 8 hours a week? So
Easy. I think smoke weed and use a hacky sack instead. It is the way to circumvent the rules. You know it, and I know it. I've seen the photos.
Oh, you're crazy. What I love about Overtime is you guys are a huge business. Billions of views, YouTube, Instagram. You have Overtime personalities, Overtime Mikey, Overtime Sam, Overtime Megan, millions of followers. But you guys are still running this like – when I say small business, I think that's a compliment, not an insult. You know each of your customers. You listen to your customers. One of the things I love that you do is you get input from your audience on designing these cards. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I love how you did your stories and let people vote.
So first I want to say, like, everything flows down from the leadership of the company, and like Dan Porter and Zach Weiner, like Dan literally will text me about cover images on our YouTube videos, and he's the CEO and founder of the company. But like, that's what the culture is like at Overtime. Like, there's nothing too big or too small for anyone to handle. And like, he literally will text me about the grammar of a title or the image on a thumbnail, because like, that's how much like we care about things. So it all flows down from that. But yeah, like in terms of the cards, like, the way we built our company is just through building community, right? Like if you wear an Overtime shirt in the street, kids are gonna like throw up the O and say shout out Overtime. Like that's the heart of our company. No community, no Overtime. So this idea actually came from Topps, because I was like, what can we do to maybe like increase the Topps Now sales or anything like that? And they had this idea to do like a fan vote, and like I was like, okay, that's great. Let's do it. So for a bunch of different cards, I just came up with 2 different images. I wrote the backs, Topps mocked them up, and then we just posted them on our IG story, and we said like vote. And like, first of all, great, like from an engagement standpoint, like thousands of votes. like everyone was interested in giving their input. And then the next day, like whatever card that the fans chose, I posted the link to it and I was like, now you can buy it. So I just think it's cool that like we can. I think a lot of times in content, like it's like there's like a wall between the person making the content and the audience, and like if you can break that down, then people just become more invested. So we just thought it was cool to let people have input into the Topps Now cards, and like honestly, we could take that a step further. Like, do we do it for an insert in the next top in 2022 OT Chrome, where like literally you need to be following Overtime polls and you get to vote on 2 inserts and then one of them gets made in the product. Like that's kind of a cool experience for a fan to have. If you're like, oh yeah, I actually had a part in that being in that decision-making process.
Choose your own adventure card making. I love it. Listen, let's talk about the product that's releasing. When does it come out? What's in the box? And I will start it off by saying this. I watched you open a box at Mint Collective. You were on Whatnot. It's weird because I wasn't watching on my phone on the Whatnot app. I was standing in front of you as you were breaking, with the camera and the whole deal. And wouldn't you know it, the one gold out of 50 that got pulled was my guy, Jalen Lewis. I tried to tackle the guy whose card it was, and I couldn't get it. I was very upset. I want it. If you're out there listening to this, reach out to me. I want it. All right. Yes, I want the card.
He works for Whatnot. It's Moth.
I want the card.
He randomly won that card. Yeah.
I want the card. But it was a cool break. I mean, it's legit Topps Chrome. It looks like this year's Topps Chrome's card, but for basketball. I mean, it's pretty cool. So talk about the box, when it's going to be, released, when it's for sale, what's in the box, what the makeup of the cards are, and that kind of stuff, if you can.
For sure. So we did a pre-release on Overtime's website a couple weeks ago, sold out in like 10 minutes. Today, March 30th, the box is released on Topps.com. And basically what it is here's the box. There's a little plastic there, but you can kind of see what it looks like. Your guy Jalen Lewis in the front. Then we have Amen Thompson, one of the twins, and John Montero is going to get drafted this year. So this is the box. You get 18 packs per box, guaranteed 2 autographs. And you guys know me, like it's on card or nothing for me. 2 on card autographs, and I don't plan to. If I will fight for my life to never have an on card, never have a sticker autograph with OTE. I will fight tooth and nail to never have that. So you get 18 packs of box, 2 guaranteed autos, and like what I've seen is there's a lot of color coming out of these boxes. Like you're not just getting base cards and autographs. Like you're getting a lot of different colored parallels, and like the fun ones, obviously, like you're gonna get your Topps Chrome gold refractors out of 50, the classic, super fractors, 1 of 1, like the classic Topps Chrome super fractors. And then we have some different ones like the OTE refractor, which has the OTE like logo in the background. And then we have some like aqua stuff going on. But like for me, like having Topps Chrome gold and super fractors is just like insane. But anyways, I actually thought we could just open a pack on the podcast and we see.
Sure, that would be cool. That's awesome.
So yeah, each pack has 4 cards. So let's see who we get here. Oh shit. Oh, sorry. I see a gold refractor.
Come on!
Wow.
Come on!
I can't even see a gold orange refractor. Okay, let's see.
Look at this.
TJ Clark. So TJ is from Atlanta native. Really tough nose defender. Can shoot. Keep an eye on him. Like you never know. Let's see. Oh wow. Okay. Devontae Cobbs, Jiggy Tezo, and yeah, we got an orange.
Hold that back up. That's a really cool card.
Oh, yeah,
that's like a 69, like the Alcindor rookie looking thing right there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's drawn off that. Yep. And then wow, of course the one pack I opened. So we got an Alexander Sarr orange refractor, 25 out of 25. Alex Sarr is a 7-footer out of France. Like gonna be, I think he's gonna probably be a first round pick.
Andrew hung up. That's it. He's done. He can't believe the luck.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of wild. This is the first orange refractor I've seen.
That's nice.
So yeah, 25 out of 25. I better go find a sleeve for that. But
I want to give people some context. So if you guys don't know Sam's actually a vintage collector. I want to ask you next what your dad has to say, because you grew up collecting cards with your pops, and now you're designing cards. But like, think about what he just did, right? You grew up collecting vintage cards. Young guy, I think you're 23, 24 years old. You threw in a 1969.
I'm 28. I'm 28.
Oh, hey.
I'll take it though. If I look younger, I'll take it.
I mean, it's just cool, like bringing the old becomes new again kind of thing. I don't know if that even makes sense, but I think it's cool that you threw in that design of the 1969 Topps.
Yeah. So to be clear, like that was Topps' idea. They designed the inserts. I guess my involvement on these cards was helping with images, helping. I worked with Topps, and sometimes I wrote the text on the back myself to make sure it was like as someone in Overtime's voice. And then like sometimes there was an image that we thought we could get a better image for, so we'd work with Topps to like swap the image out, and then basically like QCing every card. So like every card before it came out, I reread the back. We looked at the front, and I got to shout out my coworker Ankit who grinded with me for hours on just making sure every card was as perfect as possible. So like I didn't like design the cards per se, but like I worked on the text and making sure the images were good and swapping the images when need be, etc. But next year we are working on having Overtime inserts that are specifically designed in-house at Overtime.
Can I make 2 suggestions?
With you on it?
Sam, you need a card.
No,
we need the Overtime. And you 100% should. I mean, why wouldn't you guys do that? I mean, you got the Overtime, the behind-the-scenes Overtime, and 2, Overtime fans. You can get Cage's first Topps card, me and Jalen Lewis. I give him a big hug. It'd be great. You have to call the cops.
Look, I gotta say, Topps has been down. They've been down to do everything creatively. Like they understand that we've built this like big thing, and they're like, okay, if you guys have an idea, like let's figure out how to do it. So they've just been great. They've been great to work with from start to finish. I just want to shout them out.
Sam, how is that, man? Think about that. And I think this is where Andrew was going, talking about your dad, right? You're a collector. You go to the National. You build cards. Forget about vintage, modern, you name it. Like, what does your dad say when you're like, oh, by the way, I'm designing cards for Topps? I mean, I'm obviously I'm condensing it a little bit. You're not design, but you're involved in the card creation process. You're writing the text on the back of the cards. You're picking the pictures. I mean, isn't that's pretty awesome?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like kind of surreal. He loves it. Like my parents are buying the boxes, obviously. But yeah, like I grew up collecting with my dad, so for him to see that we have like Overtime cards, I think it's pretty cool for them, and they're just like proud, like that. I think it's just cool though to see that you can have a hobby growing up, and then it could mesh with work.
It really is.
Like that's the dream, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. All right, go ahead, Goldberg. You got a whole lineup of stuff. You got all kinds of questions for this kid. Go for it. I can't believe you pulled an orange refractor. It's insane. It's insane.
I know. I got to get a sleeve for it.
Show us that again, if you don't mind. I'm on a little bit of it.
So this guy's actually someone that people are going to prospect big time on because he's a 7-footer that runs the floor well, can shoot, and I think he just turned 17. He's one of the youngest players. So this is a gold refractor, 25 out of 25.
25.
Orange refractor.
Orange, 25 out of 25. That's crazy.
Yeah,
and look, Topps Chrome. I mean, anybody who opened Topps Chrome baseball this year, it's the same design. It's really the same border, or
yeah.
Look at that. It's
a nice card.
It's a clean card too. I mean, I like it.
If he's here, I'm gonna go show him.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm happy we pulled it on the podcast because then people are gonna get excited about the.
I mean, I'm already. I've seen you open a couple of packs. Like whatnot. There was a heck of a crowd there, so I had to make my way through it. But the pack I watched you open had a gold refractor in it. Now the second pack I watched you open had an orange refractor in it. So I'm gonna buy a bunch of these boxes because if every pack has an out of 25 or out of 50, I'm rocking and rolling. Let's go. Clearly, guys, that's a joke. Not every pack has an orange and a gold refractor.
I wish.
Where can we buy them from? Do we just go Topps directly?
Yeah, so Topps.com today. I don't think they're sold out yet, but I'm not 100% sure. And then in a couple of weeks they'll be hitting hobby and retail. But yeah, today you should be able to get them on Topps.com. There is a max of 1. I know people have hit me up asking about buying more, but I guess because of the resale values. Also, another thing is people were asking me about how the cards when they dropped on our site were $100, and when they dropped on Topps' website, they're $180 right now. So my understanding is that's just because of dynamic pricing. which is standard across the industry. So I'm just learning about all that too. But yeah, a lot of people are asking me, oh, why was it 100 on OT and now it's 108 on tops? So we just got clarity on that. So it's just like dynamic pricing, which I understand is just like typical across all products. But that's why in the future, make sure you should cop on the Overtime website when it pre-releases, because the price is only going to go up.
Facts. And guys, so we got a chance to chop it up with Sam right before this episode. He loves our audience. He's been on a few times. We're big fans of you in Overtime. And what we're going to do is we're going to be doing a giveaway with, I think, 16 packs, maybe 15 because you ripped one.
Might be 15 now.
I have 15 packs here. There'll be 2 autographs in these 15 packs.
By the way,
perfect. And we're going to be doing that on our Whatnot channel. Giveaway.
You might not be able
free.
to see this, Sam, but
yeah.
I'm going to try to zoom in on the word that matters.
Oh, sold out. Yep.
Sold out.
I mean, hey, look, look, okay, I'll tell you, it's bittersweet for me because I really want everyone to get one, but from a business standpoint, I do have to work with I work really closely with Kit and Brandon on this, and we have to grow the Overtime cards business because it is an important part of Overtime Elite. So obviously I'm really happy it's selling out, but people are hitting me up hey, where can I buy a box? They want to buy it for the price. And they can't right now, and I just I don't have inventory that I'm holding out on it. So part of me is sad that it's selling out in 3 hours, and now it's gonna go. It seems like it's going for $300-400 on eBay. I want kids to be able to buy these because they're the ones that are driving a lot of the audience for OTE. So I just have mixed feelings, but obviously I'm happy it's selling out, but I want people to be able
to it's fair, and it's great that it's selling out, right? It's up there. You guys had them for a little while. They've been up this morning, and now hobby shops are going to get it. So you're giving 3 different opportunities for people to buy them. Not to mention being generous with us. I will come to Bleecker tomorrow. So guys, if you're listening to this, see Sam, see me. I'll be there at 7:00 right when it opens, maybe a little bit before. I'll grab those packs from you, and we will give them away on our Whatnot show this weekend. 15 packs. Yeah. We'll do 15 giveaways. We sell stuff. Go follow Luca Nation on Whatnot, and we'll give those away. I also will, when we wrap recording here, I'll reach out to my LCS and see how many boxes he'll allocate from me, and I'll buy whatever he'll allocate, and we'll make sure that our audience is able to get some as well. At whatever the cost is to me.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. I want people to have their hands on the cards. I don't want it. I just don't want it to be people just stacking. Look, I'm saving a couple wax for myself, obviously, but I don't want people just stacking these boxes, selling them. I want people opening them and enjoying the cards. That's how I've always felt. I understand from an investment standpoint, you have to keep things sealed, but I like when people open cards and enjoy them.
I can't keep stuff sealed. I don't have the willpower.
Yeah, it's very hard.
I think
these are a fun rip. Even if you don't know the players, it's fun to open it. You see all the color, you got all these refractors, you get autos, and then you research the players. You follow them on Instagram. They're pretty active on social media. It's kind of just a fun. I really do think it's fun.
Listen, you get to learn the players, right? I remember opening Bowman Chrome a couple years ago, and for some reason, Topps Collation, whatever it may be, I got a bunch of different parallels of a kid named Nick Schnell, who was a Tampa Bay late first-round pick. And so I started buying more of them. Yeah. And, he hasn't really panned out yet. He had some injuries and stuff. I followed him on Twitter. I sent them pictures of the cards. I got, one-of-ones. And I became a Nick Schnell super collector. You know what I mean? I still have them all. I'm not sure what they're worth. But you never know. Maybe the guy – go ahead, Andrew. What do you think?
How's our boy Justin Schnell doing?
How do you know Schnell?
I know everyone. I got my ear to – what is it? Ear to my pavement? Ear to the pavement? What do they say?
That's my guy. We both grew up in New York City. He's doing well. He's working on our app and all that stuff.
Dude, Schnell can low-key ball. Schnell's got some game.
Yeah, no, he can shoot. He's a Dalton legend.
Sign him up for Andrew for Culture Collision Part 2. Andrew, we're stacking Andrew's team. I have feelers out. I've already reached out to Hakeem Olajuwon, Dominique Wilkins. I'm bringing. It's gonna be an Uncle Drew movie.
I actually have people offering me money to play on their team, so it depends.
That's against the rules.
I could be paid in cash or cards.
Listen, you accept that, and you can't go play in college anymore.
I'll sell you in a different way. I'll sell you in a different way. If you play on Team Luca Nation, Cage sets screens the way Steven Adams does.
Oh, forget
it. We can't offer you money, but we can get you freed up for some really nice jump shots.
I use
like
all
that.
6 of my fouls in one play. Forget it. I sent people to the hospital.
I like
I'm
it.
a hockey goon on a basketball court. It's a lot of fun.
I found, Sam, we'll wrap with this, that people in the hobby understand that businesses like OTE, overtime, need to make money. They understand that, and they want to support. They want to support if the price is fair, you're not price gouging, and then everyone has a fair shot at getting the product. So I'm excited to see. I mean, when did this release? 12 hours ago? To see that it's
It released
this
released
morning.
at 10. So,
Yeah.
so it seems
Like
like
3
it was
hours.
available for 3 hours. Yeah, so like that seems reasonable to me.
3 hours. Yeah.
Max
Which is
one,
great. I
everyone
mean,
bought one.
Look, it wasn't a bot thing. It wasn't one where you couldn't get it. You had limited to one, right? And so it was up there, and yet it still sold out pretty quickly. It shows a healthy demand, and it's being distributed in a healthy way. You know, it'll get into the hands of people who want it. It didn't sell out in 5 minutes. It sold out in 3 hours. To me, that's perfect. I mean, that it's being done the right way, and there'll be a second wave of it coming out through the hobby shops. You know, it shows a healthy demand, and I'm sure when Topps sees that it's sold out, you know, immediately on the first day, they're going to be calling you to say, what are we doing for the next one? If they haven't already. So
yeah, I mean, we're planning for year 2, and then, but even this year we have Inception coming out, which is like the premium product with like pieces of shoes, jerseys, like all that stuff, and that's going to start. I mean, I thought it was going to retail at the beginning for $100 also, so we'll see, but it shouldn't be that much variance between the price of this one and Inception, and that'll be like, you know, you're getting the relics and all that stuff. So yeah, but we're already planning for year 2.
I don't know if this is an idea, and we could wrap at this, because I know you guys, you know, we're trying to keep these 30, 45 minutes. It'd be cool to get to know the players, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you guys ever want to have them on the show for 10, 15 minutes, just the story behind the story, you guys have so much content out there. You could do that too.
Oh, yeah.
Just to get to know, you know, who is the Mike Trout, you know, who is Jalen Lewis, who is Amen. Getting to know these guys and their stories and how they got to where they are. It'll be cool.
We could definitely do that. They're all down to earth, like humble guys. Like we could definitely get them on for a few minutes.
cool.
That'll
That'll be great. Don't bring them to Bleecker though. I mean, unless they you know you got to stick to the soda and water. You know, cool.
Oh yeah, no,
you know
I'll make sure that they're probably not going to come down because all of them are in Atlanta. But I'm trying to figure out card events we could have at the arena here in Atlanta.
Yeah, that'll be pretty sweet, man.
And I want to bring the guys to like some of them are interested in the cards, so I'd like to bring them to the shows and things like that. One thing that could be interesting for viewers, like I was with the guys when they were signing cards, so I kind of saw the whole process. I don't know if that's something that could be interesting to talk about.
Sure,
and he documents it.
Any fun signatures? We saw one guy who signed it like in the wrong corner of the card, right?
So yeah, I'll give you the whole spiel. So basically, the way that we did it was all the guys were in a room together. They're blasting music, right? They basically get these cardboard boxes of the cards, and they're like bisected by like a color and like all that stuff. So like, you know, you'll get like the gold refractors, whatever. So a lot of the guys started with the like the gold refractors or the green or like the super refractors and things like that. So they just have these boxes and they're just like going through, taking out stacks, signing. It's a pretty tedious process. Like I get how you get tired. So what happened with Devontis is like, you got to remember that these guys are like 16, 17, 18 years old. Like they've never signed sports cards before. And like, they're just getting the cards and he just didn't know where to sign the super refractor. And luckily I was filming. So I was like, oh, no. He was signing it in a corner. I was like, no, sign in this like white space there. And then he was able to change it. And I talked to Topps and they said I guess they have like some type of like eraser. So they were going to erase the autograph on the top left and just leave the one in the correct spot, which I thought was interesting. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that there was like, I guess they go through the autographs and they erase if there's any mistakes, which is great from a quality control perspective, right? So that was good. And then, they basically were just like blasting music, signing the cards with their pens. There's variance in the autographs. Some of the guys have like Matt Bewley does this thing. His name's Matt, and he does like an M with like the @ sign around it, which is cool. So I did like a slow-mo video of him signing it, and it did like great on TikTok. That's another thing. Like if I was these companies and I don't know why Panini is not like sending someone with Anthony Edwards when he's signing these stickers. Like it's great content.
Especially him.
Yeah. So that's a separate thing, but I'm going to be there for all the OT signings and just getting content.
That's great. And Sam, the other thing that I think of with that is because we started this with, hey, these kids, interesting, can't play college ball, but think about what OTE is doing for these guys. Think about this alternate path that's been set up by OTE for some of the top players in the world, right? One, if they want to go to college, there's a college scholarship already there waiting for them, right? So they go to college, they can get a college education, it's free, it's paid for, right? Two, they're getting exposure, they're getting national attention. There will be people from OTE who are drafted. Yeah. I mean, 100% they'll be drafted. Yeah. But go beyond that, right? Yes, they're not in NIL deals, but I'm certain that these cards are something that's taking care of these kids. You know what I mean? I'm sure that's part of it. You know what I mean? Like, not only is it cool that these 16-year-olds are able to have their own Topps card and they're signing it, but I'm sure it's all part and parcel of how you're taking care of these kids who are playing, right?
Yeah, every single licensing deal we do, the players get a cut of.
See? Look at that.
So, and they get equity in the leagues. Like, we want to make sure that they're bought in. I think one thing that the industry probably needs to solve, right, is like when Mike Trout's card goes for $4 million and he's not seeing a cut of that, like that's kind of something that we might want to figure out how to solve, right? Because like on Top Shot, right, like every secondary sale, Top Shot is getting a cut of, and the NBPA is getting a cut of. But like the card industry hasn't been able to solve that secondary market issue. And like for me, like I'd be so excited if you're telling me Amen Thompson gets 2.5% of every transaction of his card on eBay, right? Like he kind of should. Like he signed the card, it's of him, it's using his name, image, and likeness, and like we're not seeing a cut of it. So I don't know. I think it's just like one thing that I'm thinking about. But yeah, no, they get a cut of the licensing deals, and yeah, like we want them to see in the upside of the league, so they feel like they're part of everything.
How far out are we from
that page?
Well, I'm push back. The difficult part is, depending on what the asset class is, how you're able to do that, right? I mean, Vincent Van Gogh's family does not get, a cut of every time his artwork sells on the secondary market and so on. But the flip side to that, of course, is, there are assets where people do get a share, right? I mean, licensing of movies, licensing of, television shows, that kind of IP, right? Every time the Lucille Ball show is put on, at night, some the Seinfeld stuff. I mean, it's in syndication. They get royalties. Artists get it from that, that realm. Why wouldn't it be the case here? It's definitely an interesting thought, and really, it leads me to this: does that now push leagues and OTE maybe towards pushing for a digital product, one that it's easier to track, it's more centralized, the Dapper, model, the Topps model, your Panini already has digital. Could there be an OTE digital release that does generate that type of royalty in perpetuity? Is that something that leagues start to think about?
Well, I could tell. I mean, the NFTs are definitely something we're thinking about around the league, and we just didn't do it in our first year because we want to do it right. But that's 100% like something we're thinking about, and will eventually do something around.
I love it. I'll be there. Jalen Lewis, I'll buy them all.
Yeah,
Sam. I mean, obviously support the release, but follow Overtime on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. It's kind of like the big.
Yeah, and really, like I think I would check out OTE on YouTube, and so we have two. OTE is like. I got to shout out our TikTok guys. They might even be over there. Our TikTok and Instagram guys, like they're so creative with the stuff they do on TikTok and OTE, and like TikTok and Instagram, like you just get to know the players really well, and it's so funny. So I'd really recommend checking out the OTE Instagram and TikTok. Like they're seriously pushing the boundaries on like what content is. So those are my favorite accounts. And then from a long form perspective, if you want to watch the games, go to just OTE on YouTube. You'll see. Some of the games have a lot of views, but like we post the full games there. So if you want to watch an hour and a half game, you can, and it's cool. We've seen really high watch times. People like to click in. And then if you want to see more off the court content, check out Views from the O, which is more like what goes on in the players outside the court, right? Like kind of the more documentary style video. So we have those kind of like switched up, but yeah, check out OT on all the platforms. It's a great way to learn about the players and like kind of just get more invested in the guys that you're pulling in the packs.
And honestly, if you're like kind of like crazy like I am with, you guys know, listening to the show, I love the X's and O's of, what makes a player successful. You could go back and scout these guys, right? You could do your homework so you could know which Bowman prospect, which guy to buy his card of if you just put in the research and put in the work that no one else wants to do if that's your game.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Like you could literally go and watch every Amen Thompson game for the most part on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, maybe one of our listeners will become the next Brandon Williams.
Yeah.
Head up operations. Never know.
Love you, Luca Nation. You guys are the best. We because of you guys, we get guests like Sam to come on and share exciting releases. So it's really just a shout out to you guys. We love our community. Again, we're hitting record views, record listens. So, I really can't ask for anything. Subscribe to our channel, but most of you guys are. We love you.
And a big thank you to Sam. And over time, we're going to have some packs for our Whatnot show this weekend. So, giveaways. You don't have to buy them. We'll take care of shipping them out. They're giving us a product. So, we'll get that in the hands of 15 different people, which is, pretty awesome.
I like the word give backs now, actually, because it's really rewarding them for supporting us and for getting us to where we are. Because without them, we would just be two guys screaming at clouds, Or
one guy screaming at clouds and the other guy screaming at that guy. I'd be screaming at you.
Love you, Luca Nation.